we now move to another concept, and very important concept, without which we just cannot deal with consumers' problem. And that is the concept of budget line. Before we explain this concept, what do we mean by this budget? Budget is simply what consumer has. कंज्यूमर के पास कितने पैसे हैं खरीदने के लिए, what he can afford, how many quantities of X and Y he can afford. Naturally, it will all depend upon उसकी इनकम कितनी है, प्राइस ऑफ X कितनी है, प्राइस ऑफ Y कितनी है. तो इससे पहले कि हम इसको डिफाइन करें, let us take an example, a numerical example. What consumer can afford from the income he has and the prices prevailing in the market. We take a numerical example. We assume that consumer's income, let us say, is rupees 50. Say price of X is rupees 10 and price of Y, 1 unit, is rupees 5. On that basis, we prepare a schedule which will show what different combinations of the two goods consumer can buy. Remember, our emphasis is on what can buy, not what he will actually buy. We are simply examining the possible ways in which a consumer can spend his given income. These possible ways of spending consumer's income are given in this table, which is entitled as Consumption Possibility Schedule. Just like in indifference curve, we also have 4 columns, A, B, and we have 6 combinations. These combinations, I have just told you, are based on income. We have assumed income के लिए एक symbol इस्तेमाल होता है M. Income is taken as equal to rupees 50. And we have assumed price of X rupees 10, price of Y rupees 5. On this basis, we have prepared this table. Take first row. The row says the consumer can afford 0 plus 10. Clear? If we spend all this money on Y, he gets at the rate of 5 rupees. From 50 rupees, he gets 10. Now suppose consumer wants to buy 1 unit of X. Clearly, he will have to buy less of Y. 1 unit of X costs 10 rupees. which is twice the price of Y. Clearly, the consumer has to give up 2Y in order to buy 1X. This is with other combinations also. If he wants another X, he has to give up another 2Y. If he wants another X, he has to give up another 2Y. If he wants another X, he has to give up another Y, like that. This table is prepared. So remember, here every time he is just giving up 2Y to get 1X. In indifference curve, the situation was different. He was willing to give less and less and less for X. Here now he is not willing to give. He has to give. अब उसको देना पड़ेगा. क्यों? बाजार उसके हाथ में नहीं है. Market is not in his hands. Market has a fixed price, and fixed price is ₹10 and ₹5. तो एक तरीके से सोच लीजिए कि जो इंडिफरेंस कर्व है वो शो करता है कंज्यूमर क्या देना चाहता है. बजट, ये कंजम्पशन पॉसिबिलिटी शेड्यूल क्या शो करता है? कंज्यूमर को क्या देना होगा. इसमें ही इक्विलिब्रियम का एक क्लू है. दैट वी विल सी लेटर. रिमेंबर, indifference curve show करता है, indifference curve shows what the price which consumer is willing to pay. Consumption possibility schedule shows the price, or MRA shows the price which consumer has to pay in the market if he wants to obtain X and Y. We call this let us say exchange of Y for X. We call this market rate of exchange. Earlier it was MRS, marginal rate of substitution. Here it is market rate of exchange. अब exchange शब्द इस्तेमाल किया गया, clearly market में exchange होता है कि अगर वो exchange करने जाए तो हर बारी अगर वो 1X चाहता है तो उसको 2Y अपने परचेजेस में से कम करने पड़ेंगे. If he spends his entire income, and he spends his entire income, that is an assumption. तो इसको हम बोलते हैं market rate of exchange, and this definition or how it is calculated, it is given here. Quantity of the good needed to be sacrificed. 2Y is needed. Remember, I have underlined the word needed so that you may not confuse it that consumer wants to pay it. Consumer doesn't want to. What consumer wants to pay is revealed by MRS. This only reveals what he has to pay. And quantity of the good needed to be obtained, which is similar. Now, in our case, since quantity of the good needed to be sacrificed is Y, so it's delta Y upon delta X. This is our, let us say, consumption possibilities line. Note another thing. This MRE is the constant throughout. What was happening in case of indifference curve? MRS was falling throughout. Here it is constant throughout. The question may come why.